And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's Rugby News live show. It is a Thursday, 1 o'clock is the time. So we are about 24 hours away before we really start to kick into the weekend gear and massive weekend of sports to come. We have got finals on finals on finals. There are two massive rugby finals, the massive football final this weekend. There's an IPL final as well. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But today we're going to be talking about the latest rugby news. We're going to be looking a little bit at the Sharks game as well as Leinster versus Toulouse. We're going to be looking at some very big news about Jasper Wiese and his involvement in the Irish series, as well as all the sort of summer tests for the Springboks. We're going to be talking a little bit about transfer rumours in the rugby world. Also be looking at the Premiership team of the season and a bit of SAFA representation there as well. So plenty to come over the next sort of half an hour. So if you are new, make sure you smash like on the video. Make sure you subscribe as well. Let's start with some breaking news for Jasper Wiese, which was announced about an hour or two ago. And that is Jasper Wiese is set to miss the entire Ireland series, as well as the tests against Wales, which was going to miss anyway because it's outside the test window, Portugal, and the two opening tests against Australia. The Springbok number 8 has officially been banned for 6 games following his red card in the final game of the Premiership season. So, I mean, couldn't have timed it any worse. Literally, he'll have to serve all 6 of his games in the Springbok international season. It is quite interesting that the Wales game counts, although technically he wouldn't have actually been available. They would have had to have made him available for us and opted to allow the Springboks to select him, which genuinely Premiership clubs, top 14 clubs, don't do. They don't genuinely allow players to be selected outside of the international window. So that was an interesting part of it as well. I'm sure you probably find Leicester Tigers, and I suppose it's any game you might be able to be picked in. So yeah, a bit of a what I'm looking for the word. Anyway, so that is the main thing. So he is missing those games. It's a big loss for the Springboks, and the question then is, who replaced him, and lots of options at number 8 for the Springboks. No Dwayne Vermeulen, obviously he's retired, and now no Jasper Wiese, which means there is a massive opportunity for someone new to put their hand up and to make themselves a potential starter, or at least make themselves, pretty essential to the Bok 23 and the Bok sort of 30, 33, depending on how big the squad they generally travel with. And those options are the likes of an Evan Roos, Cameron Harnicorn, and Peter Gomedi, for example. Those have all been involved in the alignment camps down in Cape Town with the Springboks, stuff like that. Outside shot, for example, the likes of a Franco Horn from the Lions, who has not been invited, or we don't know if he's been invited to the second one. There's a Pepsi Bootleg who's been putting his hand up. In terms of the players within the squad, Kwagga Smith is the sort of the obvious pick in terms of players who went to the World Cup that can play at 8. We did have 3 players who could play at 8 in Dwayne Vermeulen, Jasper Wiese, and Kwagga Smith. But it'll be interesting to see if they decide to go with Kwagga Smith or whether they will continue to try and use him off the bench. Because goodness me, I mean, what an impact he was off the bench. For me, probably one of the best loose forwards at the World Cup, if not in the world last year. Despite being genuinely a sort of impact player off the bench type of situation. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Who do you think would you start basically in that number 8 jersey for the Springbok test against Ireland in particular? That's obviously the very big one. So I think also probably a good thing that Jasper Wiese has got this ban, not so much for his disciplinary record, and he'll be gutted to be missing it. But he's played so much rugby in the last sort of calendar year, last 2 calendar years, really. And he's never really had any time off. So, he played his last game for Leicester, I think it was about 2 weeks or a week ago. It was last weekend. I think it was the last weekend of group games. And now he'll play his next game in August. So he'll have genuinely 2 months off. Hopefully they've told him basically have 2 weeks, go and rest and stuff like that. Then start sort of keep your conditioning, get within the Springbok camp. Probably the end of June, really, actually. So you can kind of have a month off where you can just go and relax, reset, get himself ready. And his first game, in theory, would be against the All Blacks. What a game to be able to make a return after receiving that ban. So it's not all doom and gloom. We've got to look at this as an opportunity to play new players, an opportunity to blood somebody else, but also an opportunity for a key player for the Springboks who gets some rest and to make sure that he's fit, firing, and ready for the next season. But yeah, that's coming out within the last few hours. Right, let's talk about the Sharks, shall we? It is a huge game tomorrow night. The Sharks' opportunity to salvage a season. Now, I put a vote in the poll on YouTube saying, will the Sharks win the Challenge Cup? And 100% of people saying yes so far. So the question is, what do they need to do? Well, they need to be at their best. They need to pull out a performance that they haven't put in the entire season, to be brutally honest. They've had showings throughout the season where they're going, yeah, that's the team that they can be. But they haven't, for me, yet put together an 18-minute performance where I've gone, jeepers, that's a good side. That's a URC winning side. That's a side that can contend in the Champions Cup. And they need to start doing that because they've got a side on paper and a squad that should be doing that. That should be challenging for all trophies, on all fronts. They've got the depth where I think they're going to be very competitive come the Currie Cup. On a side note, if you're a South African fan, there is the SA Cup final this weekend, Griquas versus Pumas, happening in Kimberley tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Saturday. Just on a side note. But the Sharks, who've had a dreadful URC season, have an opportunity to salvage it by sneaking a Challenge Cup win. And I do mean sneaking because they burgled their place in the final after a very dodgy performance, it must be said, in the semi-final. And they had to come back from behind. Look, they played well, and the comeback was good, but they were out of it, and I think a better side would have put them away, to be honest. So yeah, I think they're very lucky to be in the Challenge Cup final, but it's not about luck. It's about what happens, and it's about playing in front of you. And they've got a massive opportunity now to become the first team to win a European title. What a mental story that would be for a team who's probably performing the worst we've seen of any of our sides in the URC and the likes in the last few years, to be the first to win a European title. So a big opportunity for John Plumtree and the squad. In terms of some team news, very important team news, is that there will be no Lekanya. The Sharks captain has officially been ruled out with injury. We're not sure exactly how serious it's going to be. We haven't had confirmation with regards to, is he going to be available for the Springboks? And so it's been a couple of a bad week, really, for Springboks with regards to losing Damien Willemse potentially for up to 4 months. That's the entire Rugby Championship, the Ireland Series, the Portugal Test, the Wales Test. Also now losing Jasper Wiese for 6 of those games, and Lekanya fitness now also being a big question mark with regards to, is he going to be available for those tests? And the good thing is that I think even if you were to be available, not a guaranteed starter these days. With the form of Jesse Creel last year at the World Cup, he was absolutely sensational. For me, probably one of the top 5-6 most consistent performers during that World Cup campaign. So has really, really earned his stripes. Not that he needs to earn his stripes. I mean, we're talking about players who played over 50 games for the Springboks. But in particular, last year, I think was playing his best. And for me, it was his jersey now. Lekanya would have to come back and try and get that jersey off of JC Creel. But you want the depth, because as soon as now JC Creel gets injured, you've got no Lekanya, you've got no JC Creel. Are you brave enough to play Kane and Moody? And if not, who are your outside centre options? Because we haven't played a lot of people at outside centre. Henk van Wyk was somebody that they really rated, and they had him in the alignment camps, but he's now been injured and hasn't had a lot of opportunity there. If you look at the various teams, for example, Stormers, Ruan Nell was out for the season, so they've kind of been making makeshifts. Randy Similani's had a few games there, but he's certainly not anywhere near a Springbok camp at the moment. David Creel, somebody playing inside and outside centre, could be a very good option. So it'll be interesting to see where they go if they were to experiment at 13. I reckon we'll probably see a Kane Moody at 13 against, for example, Portugal, and that would make the most sense for me. But JC Creel is certainly going to get the nod at 13 in the at least for the first few games there. So with regards to the Sharks, no Lekanya, but it does look like Ethan Hooker is available, and Neil Powell saying that it also looks like Evan Etzebeth is going to be fine. So it'll be interesting to see how they go, because Hooker's played both at outside and inside centre. I'd imagine he'll probably go to 13. Francois Venter will start at 12. So he is fit apparently and ready to go. Is Francois Venter, so they've got options there. It looks like Evan Etzebeth and Vincent Koch are also both fit to play. So they will be massive for the Sharks, whose team should be announced any moment now. I'm actually just like checking my inbox now to see if it has been announced, because it'll probably be announced probably within the next hour. And I think it'll probably be quite straightforward. You're going to have a front row, Oxenshire, Bongi Manambi, Vincent Koch, Evan Etzebeth probably next to Brand Cobbler in the second row. A back row of Vincent Stuka, Pepsi Buthelezi, James Fenter for me would probably make the most sense in regards to what we've seen from them recently. But Grant Williams is will start a scrum half. See Masuko fly half, and Pimpi, Bernard Koch will be the wings. Plus, at full back, centers will be Fenter and Ethan Hooker. And we'll have to wait to see who will be inside and who will be outside. But pretty sure that will be your hooker combination. So it's a good Shark side. It doesn't get much better. And it'll be a strong bench. The likes of Instuko will be coming off the bench. Then they might have a corner Ralph, for example, coming off the bench. I've been very impressed with. No Jaden Hendrickson, so your backline replacements probably like a Bullet Chamberlain, Cameron Wright. I'm not entirely sure if they're going to go with a 6-2, 5-3. I'll probably go with a 5-3. They generally do the Sharks. So it's a side that can definitely compete, but it's a very good Gloucester side who were very good in the way and very professional in the way they put away Benetton, who try to get back into the game, threatened to maybe cause a bit of an upset, but in general, they were just too good with Gloucester. And playing in the UK, the game is at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Kickoff was at 9 o'clock. South Standard Time. It will be live for 8 o'clock if you're over there in the UK. So I think there will be a very big Gloucester support. I think there will be a decent section of Sharks fans. We saw when they played at the Stoop that there was a decent amount of Shark supporters there. So there's definitely, there's a very big expat community in London, and obviously being rugby fans, even if they're not necessarily Sharks fans, they'll probably come out and support the Sharks. So I do expect the Sharks to have a reasonable amount of support at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but you do expect Gloucester to have the bulk of it. In terms of South African and watching the game as well, the likes of Ruan Ackerman said to be involved. Lots of chat about him. He was potentially going to come back. I think probably had talks with some of the unions. I was really hoping the Lions were going to look at bringing him back. He has then opted to extend his contract with Gloucester, so deciding to go sort of that route. But he'll be on display tomorrow night. He's somebody who apparently England are very keen to cap. Not really, doesn't seem to be on the Springbok radar. But we'll have to find out exactly what is happening there with him, and an opportunity for him to show what he's about. And I think a player who is there and thereabouts. I'm not sure he'll ever play for the Box, but I don't think he's a player who'd ever let the Box down if he were to be picked. I do think he's probably good enough, and I think that he's a player who's, if he had stayed, I think we'll probably be in the Box setup. I think you look at the way that he was playing for the Lions before he went over, and he was about 20 years old at the time, 21 years at the time, and for me, he was one of the standout loose forwards. And unfortunately, I think he's been one of those who have not benefited from going overseas in terms of his international prospects. Jasper Wiese continues to kind of be the only one who has really made it whilst being based overseas, and for the first time. Majority of the players who are based overseas were well within the Springbok setup before making their move. Your Franco Mosters, Ches and Colby's, your Malcolm Marx's, Vincent Koch when he was overseas, Peter Steph Toy, your Hanjay Pollards, Kwagga Smith, even Andre Esterhuizen, maybe wasn't always part of the Box squad, but has worked with Rassie Erasmus, has been part of those squads before being included back in the World Cup squad. So Jasper Wiese was really the only player who's been invited. Maybe you look like a Reynard Alstad or a Nicholas Janssen van Rensburg, who kind of came and went, a bit of a flash in the pan, both of them. But Jasper Wiese is really the only one who has made it as a first-time sort of member of the squad whilst being based overseas. And I think it might change, the more that we sort of see. But there's certainly a lot of players who put their hand up. We've been talking about Tyron Green a lot this week. But Ruan Ackerman, I think, is someone who, if he had stayed in South Africa and continued to play at the level he was looking to play at, could very well have been part of that Springbok squad, and maybe could even be a World Cup winner. So you do have to kind of weigh it up. It's not nearly as simple as just saying, well, if I go overseas and I play well enough, I will get into the mix. You have to play It's not well enough. You have to like smash the door down. Jasper Wiese, Premiership Player of the Season type of things. Same as Andre Esterhuizen. And those are the labels they had to pick to get themselves back into the Bok mix and to get themselves into that sort of selection frame. They had to be the best in the league type of thing. That's the kind of standards you have to get. You have to get to a point where you can't be ignored with how well you're playing. Whereas I think if you're in South Africa and you base yourself in South Africa, you are far more on the radar of the coaches. You don't necessarily have to be like the best player in the entire league to be able to get that call up. As long as you're sort of pitching up in the local derbies, you're outperforming most of the players in around you, you'll kind of get that nod. You'll be part of alignment camps because from an availability point of view, that there's obviously better agreement with the SA Rugby and the local unions, which means that they are available for alignment camps. They're more available for potential tests outside the test window. They have more control over being able to give them rest and how much game time and minutes that they sort of clock up. So it is more beneficial for your Springbok chances to be based in South Africa. I think even Japan, for example, they've got a pretty good relationship over there with those clubs. They often allow, for example, if you look at those tests outside the test window at the end of the year, the Japanese clubs will allow and say, no, it's fine, just stay and play that extra test, for example. When they've been injured, they've been down in South Africa, recovering from injuries and been part of alignment camps. So there's been a good relationship with the Japanese clubs who have really bought into the fact that they've got Springboks players and it's almost like, well, it's kind of a difference, they kind of feel, well, we've got these Springbok players, these are, first of all, world-class players, and, because we're so grateful to having this kind of quality, we're going to allow them to be as available to the Springboks as possible and continue to sort of grow the Japanese rugby story by continuing to have them in the league itself. Whereas when you play in the top 14 Premiership, it's a bit more sort of like ownership type of vibes. So this is our player, and we pay the bills for this player. Therefore, we're not going to allow him to play any more rugby than we have to let him play, because injuries and stuff like that means he can't play for us. And that doesn't benefit us at all. And that's kind of where the issue comes with a lot of players who are based in the top 14 in the Premiership, is they don't get released for these sort of tests outside the test window and even alignment camps and stuff like that. In theory, that those top 14 players, their contracts run as they run, and they're saying, well, we're having training or whatever year for we, you're not allowed to leave, you're not even allowed to go and join them. Up until that, I think it's like Article 53 or whatever is that the official test window is, which is when they then can go and join up and play with the Springboks, and the international clubs can't do anything about it because that's a World Rugby window which stipulates that you will release your players for that sort of period. So yeah, I think the Sharks will have to be close to their best and have to put in a perfect performance. Neil Powell basically said that as well. He said, we've got to be clinical, we've got to be at it for 80 minutes. And I think that 80-minute performance is something very, very important. As I mentioned, I haven't seen the Sharks put in an 80-minute performance, just yet throughout the season. And this is the time where they have to do that. They cannot switch off, because final rugby, a team like Gloucester, they're not going to give you let off. If you switch off, they're going to punish you. Yeah, it's final rugby. CM Masuku, for example, his boot was basically the reason that they were in the final. He was fantastic against Timor. But if his boot doesn't pitch up tomorrow and he is off his game, then they're out. Not even out, they're lost. They've lost the final. So they've got to be at their best. And looking at some of the comments earlier, Brandon was saying, I hope Brewers gets to start at 8. He's been in such good form lately. So MC was saying, Sharks have all the players, but I've lost so much faith in them as a fan. If a Lions game and Sharks game was on the same time, I would watch the Lions game. Well, why wouldn't you watch the Lions game? We're just so much more entertaining to watch. Better side, we've done the double over the Sharks. I have said a lot of Sharks supporters last week when I said the Sharks are a waste of space because they lost and didn't help out the Lions. I think people just didn't really have a sense of humor about it. Obviously new to the channel and don't know that obviously I'm not being that serious. What I did enjoy was all them having a go at the Lions, and they're going, no. We have got not even a quarter of your resources, and we've outperformed you easily this season. We've beaten you twice this season. We don't have a single current international player in our side. One of the 2 international capped players we have in our side is retiring. He's 40 years old. The other one is Ruan Dre, who's deep into his 30s. So don't sit here and talk about how the Lions are going backwards and we're a useless union. First of all, we'd be a lot better if you guys didn't start coaching our bloody team, which is part of the game, which is fine. But I did enjoy the fact that the knee-jerk response from me saying, well, you guys are a bit useless because, could just do us a favor was, oh, we're so much better than the Lions. Because you're not. Yeah, you're going to win a Challenge Cup tomorrow night and potentially the reason you're not going to be in the Champions Cup, which is going to make me even more pissed off. But, yeah, for those who were a bit triggered last week, wasn't that deep. Wasn't that deep. Life's too short to be that serious, people. I am not genuinely supporting Gloucester tomorrow, okay? We can all calm down. By the way, if you are new, we will be live tomorrow night. It is obviously the Challenge Cup final, and we're going to be doing a live watch-along, both on YouTube as well as on TikTok. We're going to try something a bit new, try and get some new people involved in the channel, so it'll be cool to see some different people there. Nathan, thank you very much. I'll check to see what the issue is there. Saying, do you think Ulrich Lowe should play against Iron with Jasper out? I don't think I'd play Ulrich Lowe at 8. I'd probably play Evan Ruiz, would be my gut. I think I'll start with Evan Ruiz and then look to bring Kwagga Smith off the bench. I don't think that Cameron Harnicum will necessarily suddenly jump the ship. I think he's slowed down a little bit. I think he's got everything. He's a very talented player, has so much to his game at such a young age. And started like a house on fire. I don't think his last few months has been quite the sort of same impact as it was beginning of the season. Peter Gamedi's going to be an interesting one. It'll be interesting to see if they give him minutes. I reckon we might see him against Portugal. So a lot of big decisions for the Boks to make. And then Nathan saying, also, I think Warwick Galant deserves to play for the Boks again finally. Well, there is space in the number 15 jersey. We've been talking about Tyron Green a lot, who we don't even know if he is on the Springbok radar because, again, he's not based locally, so he wouldn't have been part of those alignment camps, but we don't know if he potentially could have been or would have been had he been playing the way he's playing down here. For all we know, he actually is in the Springbok coaching staff's plans, but we just don't know what those plans are necessarily. So we have to wait and see exactly what will happen at fullback. But yeah, I mean, I think a Kieran Horn, for example, I think will have his eye on it. No Fussy and Warwick Galant in the initial lineman camps. Maybe they'll look to go back to Warwick Galant and Aple Fussy. Both are capped Springboks. Galant obviously played a bit more. He was part of the last World Cup squad. Aple Fussy was dropped, to be perfectly honest, from the squad. And I think issues there. This is why, I put the poll out yesterday on the channel. I didn't include Aple Fussy, and a lot of people were very upset. But I think that there's issues with him and the coaching staff. I don't think massive issues, but I think the coaching staff have seen fundamental flaws in this game that until he really does figure out, they're not going to go back to him. They talk about having the right type of people, the right type of players, and I think at the moment, I don't think he fits the Bok mold. Warwick Galant, the way he's playing now, and the fact he's been part of it, maybe a bit more suited to that, and they could go back to him. But again, not been part of a lineman camp for a while, not really been on the Bok radar for that long. Jan say not so sure about the Sharks. They have not really played like champions. Maybe some of their so-called superstars have not been fully committed. Just my opinion, and won't bet on it. I think that's an interesting point. We haven't seen the best necessarily from some of the internationals throughout the season. I thought that during Clermont, that was what was very interesting about that comeback. If you look at that last try, the carry from Pepsi Buthelezi, key player from the Sharks, the box kick from Grant Williams, the retrieve from Eben Etzebeth, the offload from Vincent Tuka, the combination from to Mapimpi. You had a lot of Springboks involved in that build-up of that try, and you can't sit there going, well, that's why they're there. That's why these players are at a different level. That's why you paid in the big bucks. And even, as I said, the likes of Vincent Tuka, who was a big signing for the Sharks, not a Springbok player, probably could be if he was eligible. I think the way he was playing for the Lions 2 seasons ago, I think it would have been hard to miss or to leave out. But those marquee signings are players that they really expect to stand up in the big moments, because that's why you pay the big money. That's why there are important players in your team. So that final try, you're sitting there going, well, that's why we have them. But unfortunately, I think for the Sharks is that they've been saying that they're not been saying that often enough. It's been too few and far between. And in fact, a lot of their non-Springbok, non-marquee signings have been the big performers, like your Sia Masukus. Vernon Cock in the last month sort of turned it on. Your Corner Rolls, who's really stepped up this season. So even James Fenter, who's somebody I'm surprised had so much game time, has been very consistent for the Sharks. Joan saying, I sure hope they win, saying, I actually think that Jacques Vermeulen would have a lot to offer the Springboks, given his tackling, breakdown ability, work rate, overall value to any team he plays for. Yeah, he was part of a report saying that apparently a lot of England players potentially, or South African players on the England radar rather, like say Bernard Janssen van Rensburg. And on that note, I want to talk a little bit about the Premiership team of the season, which was announced this morning. And there was some decent SAFA representation for players in that squad. First up, he's been absolutely phenomenal for Bath this season as Davy Stephen Thomas, the try-scoring tank de Toy, is named in the team of the season at tied to what a season he's had. Been absolutely immense for Bath, who are potentially looking to go all the way. Another South African in the form of Jasper Visa, at 8th man there. Also had a fantastic season. He continues to be the standout 8 in the league, where there's lots of good 8s. Ben Earl being on 7, Courtney Laws. I mean, if you look at that, actually, Ben Earl, Jasper Visa, Courtney Laws, the loose trio, it's a bit childish, isn't it, in terms of how good that potentially is. Then Bernard Janssen van Rensburg was named at 12 on the Dream Team. What a season he's had. He's somebody that is potentially, apparently, on the England radar. And I think somebody who probably would add a lot to England. He's can play at 12 or 13, and the centres in England, for me, have been quite poor recently. I think they've really struggled to find, a real good option. Henry Slade is one of the better ones who was named in the team of the season, but they've struggled to find a partner for him. And then Tyron Green has capped off what has been a phenomenal season for him by also being named in that in that team of the season. So good to see a bit of SAFA representation over there. And it's an interesting reaction to these sort of team of the season, because I look at it and think how fantastic it is that we're exporting such good talent. Some people get a bit upset about it, well, they should be playing here, and well, if they want to play for England, they must play for England. I think players must try and play international rugby, and if that means they're not going to be able to make for the box, and they make the decision, well, I'd rather have a very big, good, solid, important role career for another nation rather than playing, a test here and there from the Springboks, then albeit, you look at how important Pierre Schoeman's come for Scotland. Look at the career Duan van der Merwe's had for Scotland. He wouldn't have had that for the Boks. I think he probably could be part of a Boks squad, but I don't think he wouldn't have had the career he's had at Scotland had he decided to stay here. Or try and represent the Springboks. So I don't begrudge any of these players for choosing to play for a different nation. I think it's a global game, and if you go and you decide to make a decision and it pays off, then good on you for having the guts and the nerve to be able to do that. Nathan said, double checking Malcolm's available for Ireland. Do you reckon Dion Free's in the picture this year? I'll be surprised if we see Dion Free this year. I just don't really see. Sounds harsh. I don't really see the point. I think he was an important player for us last year due to the combination of injuries that we did have. But if Malcolm's available, which supposedly I think he is set to be fit for, he wouldn't have played any rugby, but is set to be fit for the series. You're going to have Malcolm starting or Bongi starting, Malcolm off the bench. I think we've got better loose forwards than Dion Free, it is the start of a new World Cup cycle. So, you're not going to be playing him against Portugal, for example. At the end of the day, the two important tests, probably the Ireland tests, that's a big one. That's you play your best 23, regardless of age, whatever. You decide, this is our 23 to beat Ireland. This is who we're going with. And after that, you start building. That Portugal game, for me, is a building game. The Rugby Championship, I'd like to try and win, to be honest. I don't see why we can't. And I always think the Springboks are not given the respect they deserve, through maybe our own fault of not picking up enough trophies in between World Cups. We won a World Cup, but between that World Cup and winning the next World Cup, we won a British and Irish Lions series, but that was it. You never won a Rugby Championship, for example. And I think you need to be able to do that. That's why those New Zealand teams are considered the best, because they just won so many trophies along the way. And I mean, it sounds silly, but even like when was the last time we won a Nelson Mandela Freedom Cup, for example? Those kind of things. And maybe it sounds arbitrary, and a lot of these trophies are arbitrary, but we don't really get to play for much in between World Cups, apart from a Rugby Championship. So we can't just spend 3 years just not caring about our results. We need to pick up trophies. We need to be a bit more consistent, and I'd like us to take that attitude this year and go out and try and win the Rugby Championship. It's going to be an interesting year for New Zealand. It's a brand new era with Razor in charge, so it's an opportunity for us to try and take advantage of that. We've got a far more settled group. Yes, we are now building to the next World Cup, and probably have to start making some big decisions with regards to who's in those plans, who's not on those plans. So you don't get to 2-3 years time, all of a sudden have 4 or 5 key players retiring, and you can't really fill their boots. But obviously, for that Ireland series, you just pick who you need for that series. Joanne says, "What approach do you think we have to take against the Irish when they arrive?" Standard, be big up front, and dare to be a bit more expansive in the back line. We obviously haven't played them with Andre Pollard in a while. We Molly Liebach played last year, and the year before it was David Williams at 10. So the last time that Pollard would have played them probably would have been in South Africa when we beat them, actually. So an interesting decision to make a 10 with regards to if you want to play a more direct game, or if you want to play a Molly Liebach and say, right, well, we play a more expansive and a more threatening game with him on the park. How are we going to beat Ireland? Are we going to try and take them into the arm wrestle, take them to the gutters, as they say, and kick threes and do it? Or do we want to play the much more expansive, open sort of style of rugby and hope that works? We're going to have plenty of time to talk about the Ireland series. I'm hoping we're going to get a box squad announcement in the next week or two for that Welsh test, which was actually a month yesterday, so less than a month officially. The URC group stage will come to an end next week. So, for example, after that, they'll know exactly who's in the quarterfinals, where those quarterfinals are taking place. So it could be Stormers, Lions, and Bulls all involved in the quarterfinals, in which case those take place on the 7th and 8th of June. And if any of them win, then they're in semi-finals on the 14th and 15th. So I think if players go out in the quarterfinals, they can still be involved in the box because they can have 2 weeks with the box. As soon as they make a semi-final, those players are not going to be available for the box because you'll be playing 14th, 15th, 1 week out, and the box plan on 22nd. So if all three of those teams, miraculously make semi-finals, for example, which might not work with regards to how they all might land up, it could very well be a team of Japanese-based players and Sharks players, which is probably the best. If there's going to be one team available from a South African perspective, you want to be the Sharks with regards to having Evan available. Oxygen, you've got a complete front row there. You've got Evan over there. You've got Grant Williams. If Jalen Hendricks is fit, you've got 2 scrum halves there. You've got injured, but you've got Mapimpi available. So that's a pretty good core of your team. By the time you add a Malcolm Marks, a Peter Steph the Toy, Franco Mostert, Kwaka Smith, Ches and Colby, it becomes a lot easier to sort of pick that side. But it's very interesting to see what happens. You kind of almost want all 3 South African teams to go far in the URC so that we can really start to see which for the fringe players are actually rated by the box. But we're going to wrap it up there for the day. So thank you very much for joining me across the various platforms. We will be live tomorrow night, as I mentioned, for the Challenge Cup final, as well as on Saturday for the Champions Cup final. So make sure you join us throughout the various days as we sort of bring the European competitions to an end before we then shift focus to the URC and then finally to the Springbok season, which really gets underway at the end of June. Please do smash like on the video on the way out. Please do subscribe and follow if you are new. And we are live. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Forever Rugby on Forever Sports for today's Rugby News live show. It is a Thursday, 1 o'clock is the time. So we are about 24 hours away before we really start to kick into the weekend gear and massive weekend of sports to come. We have got finals on finals on finals. There are 2 massive rugby finals, a massive football final this weekend. There's an IPL final as well. I mean, it's absolutely ridiculous. But today we're going to be talking about the latest rugby news. We're going to be looking a little bit at the Sharks game as well as Leinster versus Toulouse. We're going to be looking at some very big news about Jasper Wiese and his involvement in the Irish series, as well as all the sort of summer tests for the Springboks. We're talking a little bit about transfer rumours in the rugby world. We'll also be looking at the Premiership team of the season and a bit of SAFA representation there as well. So plenty to come over the next sort of half an hour. So if you are new, make sure you smash like on the video. Make sure you subscribe as well. Let's start with some breaking news for Jasper Wiese, which was announced about an hour or 2 ago. And that is Jasper Wiese is set to miss the entire Ireland series, as well as the tests against Wales, which was going to miss anyway because it's outside the test window, Portugal, and the 2 opening tests against Australia. The Springbok number 8 has officially been banned for 6 games following his red card in the final game of the Premiership season. So, I mean, couldn't have timed it any worse. Literally, he'll have to serve all 6 of his games in the Springbok international season. It is quite interesting that the Wales game counts, although technically he wouldn't have actually been available. They would have had to have made him available for us and opted to allow the Springboks to select him, which genuinely Premiership clubs, top 14 clubs don't do. They don't genuinely allow players to be selected outside of the international window. So that was an interesting part of it as well. I'm sure you probably find Leicester Tigers. And I suppose it's any game you might be able to be picked in. So yeah, a what I'm looking for the word. Anyway, so that is the main thing. So he is missing those games. It's a big loss for the Springboks, and the question then is who replaced him, and lots of options at number 8 for the Springboks. No Dwayne Vermeulen, obviously he's retired, and now no Jasper Wiese, which means there is a massive opportunity for someone new to put their hand up and to make themselves a potential starter, or at least make themselves, pretty essential to the Bok 23 and the Bok sort of 33, depending on how big the squad they generally travel with. And those options are the likes of an Evan Roos, Cameron Hanekom, and Peter Gomedi, for example. Those have all been involved in the alignment camps down in Cape Town with Springbok, stuff like that. Outside shot, for example, the likes of a Franco Horn from the Lions, who has not been invited, or we don't know if he's been invited to the second one. There's a Pepsi Bootleg who's been putting his hand up. In terms of the players within the squad, Kwagga Smith is the sort of the obvious pick in terms of players who went to the World Cup that can play at 8. We did have 3 players who could play at 8 in Dwayne Vermeulen, Jasper Wiese, and Kwagga Smith. But it'll be interesting to see if they decide to go with Kwagga Smith or whether they will continue to try and use him off the bench. Because goodness me, I mean, what an impact he was off the bench. For me, probably one of the best loose forwards at the World Cup, if not in the world last year. Despite being genuinely a sort of impact player off the bench type of situation. So yeah, let me know down in the comments below. Who do you think would you start basically in that number 8 jersey for the Springbok test against Ireland in particular? That's obviously the very big one. So I think also probably a good thing that Jasper Wiese has got this ban, not so much for his disciplinary record, and he'll be gutted to be missing it. But he's played so much rugby in the last sort of calendar year, last 2 calendar years, really. And he's never really had any time off. So, he played his last game for Leicester, I think it was about 2 weeks or a week ago. It was last weekend. I think it was the last weekend of group games. And now he'll play his next game in August. So he'll have genuinely 2 months off. Hopefully they've told him basically have 2 weeks, go and rest and stuff like that. Then start sort of keep your conditioning, get within the Springbok camp. Probably at the end of June, really, actually. So you can kind of have a month off where you can just go and relax, reset, get himself ready. And his first game, in theory, would be against the All Blacks. What a game to be able to make a return after receiving that ban. So it's not all doom and gloom. We've got to look at this as an opportunity to play new players, an opportunity to blood somebody else, but also an opportunity for a key player for the Springboks who gets some rest and to make sure that he's fit, firing, and ready for the next season. But yeah, that's coming out within the last few hours. Right, let's talk about the Sharks, shall we? It is a huge game tomorrow night. The Sharks' opportunity to salvage a season. Now, I put a vote in the poll on YouTube saying, will the Sharks win the Challenge Cup? And 100% of people saying yes so far. So the question is, what do they need to do? Well, they need to be at their best. They need to pull out a performance that they haven't put in the entire season, to be brutally honest. They've had showings throughout the season where they're going, yeah, that's the team that they can be. But they haven't, for me, yet put together an 18-minute performance where I've gone, jeepers, that's a good side. That's a URC winning side. That's a side that can contend in the Champions Cup. And they need to start doing that because they've got a side on paper and a squad that should be doing that. That should be challenging for all trophies, on all fronts. They've got the depth where I think they're going to be very competitive come the Currie Cup. On a side note, if you're a South African fan, there is the SA Cup final this weekend, Griquas versus Pumas, happening in Kimberley tomorrow. Not tomorrow, Saturday. Just on a side note. But the Sharks, who've had a dreadful URC season, have an opportunity to salvage it by sneaking a Challenge Cup win. And I do mean sneaking because they burgled their place in the final after a very dodgy performance, it must be said, in the semi-final. And they had to come back from behind. Look, they played well, and the comeback was good, but they were out of it, and I think a better side would have put them away, to be honest. So yeah, I think they're very lucky to be in the Challenge Cup final, but it's not about luck. It's about what happens, and it's about playing in front of you. And they've got a massive opportunity now to become the first team to win a European title. What a mental story that would be for a team who's probably performed the worst we've seen of any of our sides in the URC and the likes in the last few years. to be the first to win a European title. So a big opportunity for John Plumtree and the squad. In terms of some team news, very important team news is that there will be no Lekanya. The Sharks captain has officially been ruled out with injury. We're not sure exactly how serious it's going to be. We have no confirmation with regards to, is he going to be available for the Springboks? And so it's been a couple of a bad week really for Springboks with regards to losing Damien Willemse potentially for up to 4 months. That's the entire Rugby Championship, the Ireland Series, the Portugal Test, the Wales Test. Also now losing Jasper Wiese for 6 of those games, and Lekanya fitness now also being a big question mark with regards to, is he going to be available for those tests? And the good thing is that I think even if you were to be available, not a guaranteed starter these days. With the form of Jesse Creel last year at the World Cup, he was absolutely sensational. For me, probably one of the top 5-6 most consistent performers during that World Cup campaign. So has really, really earned his stripes. Not that he needs to earn his stripes. I mean, we're talking about players played over 50 games for the Springboks. But in particular, last year, I think was playing his best. And for me, it was his jersey now. Lekanya would have to come back and try and get that jersey off of JC Creel. But you want the depth, because as soon as now JC Creel gets injured, you've got no Lekanya, you've got no JC Creel. Are you brave enough to play Kane and Moody? And if not, who are your outside centre options? Because we haven't played a lot of people at outside centre. Henk van Wyk was somebody that they really rated, and they had him in the lineman camps, but he's now been injured and hasn't had a lot of opportunity there. If you look at the various teams, for example, Stormers, Ruan Nel was out for the season, so they've kind of been making makeshifts. We want to see the Similani's had a few games there, but he's certainly not anywhere near a Springbok camp at the moment. David Creel, somebody playing inside and outside centre, could be a very good option. So it'll be interesting to see where they go if they were to experiment at 13. I reckon we'll probably see a Kane and Moody at 13 against, for example, Portugal, and that would make the most sense for me. But JC Creel is certainly going to get the nod at 13 in the at least for the first few games there. So with regards to the Sharks, no Lekanya, but it does look like
Hello and welcome on Forever Rugby and Forever Sports. We are live for the Champions Cup final. It's Leinster up against Toulouse. Stay tuned, folks. We're in for a smashing afternoon of European rugby here on Forever Rugby and Forever Sports. It gives me great pleasure from myself, Roots, to take you through this journey. Europe's, should I say, premier competition will be underway shortly. It's Leinster who are going in for their 4th attempt after coming so close in previous years, losing out last season to La Rochelle by 1 point, the previous year by 3 points, and in 2019, of course, coming up short against Saracens. We're at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium where we saw last night the Sharks, of course, overcoming Gloucester by 36 points to 22 to bring home a trophy, Europe's Challenge Cup trophy for a South African side, their first. And Leinster will be hoping that they can overcome the demons of years gone by. It's a strong French side in Toulouse. And I'm going to take you through the 23 of each side, starting with Leinster. We've got Porter at 1, Sheehan 2, Furlong 3, McCarthy 4, Jenkins 5, Beard 6, Connors 7, Caelan Doris at 8, Gibson Park and Byrne 9 and 10 respectively, Osborne, Henshaw, Lowe, Lama and Hugo Keenan at fullback 16 to 23, Kelleher, Kian Healy, Alatoa, Ryan, Conan, McGrath, should I say, Frawley and Van der Fleer to make up the 23 for Leinster. The 1 to 23 for Toulouse is by Mofaka, Aldegheri, Flaments, Mirfau, Craw, Willis and Romar at number 8. 9, 10 is Dupont, the ever-present legendary French scrum half. Ntamak at 10, Aki, Costes, Labelle, Malia and Kinghorn. 16 to 23, Mashawn, Nettie, Merkler, Arnold, Brennan, Grau, Chocobaris and Thomas Ramos as we get underway here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Toulouse who kick off from left to right, deep into the 22 of Leinster, but Gibson Park at the base of the ruck shapes for a kick, and it's returned with great favour from Toulouse, and Leinster come away with possession now. We're just outside the 22 as Gibson Park looks for a runner to take the ball up. Do give your comments of your score prediction in the comments section. Who do you think's going to take this game? Let's go on this journey together as Gibson Park looks to clear from the base of the ruck. It's high, it's contestable. Who wants it? Underneath it, it's a loose ball, but Dupont is there. The mercurial scrum off of France as Toulouse make their way up to halfway now. Dupont, it's quick ball. It's frenetic stuff in the early stages here. Caelan Doris looks to counter-ruck, but Toulouse have possession. Down this right wing they go. Malia, Dupont, what a lovely ball to Malia. That's sensational stuff from Toulouse early on. We're only about a minute and a half in. They're going to check it with the assistant referee, but a little pop-off as he was being tackled. And Malia was there in support. They will go up to the TMO. But incredible work there from Anton Dupont. We know he can change a game in an instant. Had the presence of mind there. The weight of the pop, just enough for Malia to get to it. It was grubbered ahead by Malia. Dupont gathered and then just lofted the ball in the air as he was tackled by his opposite number. They're just looking to see if he's gone into touch. It looks as if there's a foot in touch there. Gibson Park might have done just enough. Incredible cover defence from the Leinster scrum off. And it looks for all money as if it's going to be a line out to Leinster here. There's inches in it. The weight of the pop was brilliant for Malia. But an early onslaught from Toulouse showing you from deep inside their own half that they can in fact score from anywhere, especially with the likes of Dupont on hand. Tough decision here for the TMO, no doubt. And it is going to be a line out here for Leinster. 5 meters out, just coming up short the touchline there. The boot shaving this left-hand touchline, and Leinster win the line out. And Gibson Park looks for Byrne or for James Lowe to clear. He's got a big boot on him, the left winger. And he puts it into touch on the 10-meter mark on Leinster territory. It's going to be a put in here to Toulouse. Early onslaught. It's a packed house here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And we're in for some exciting rugby here in the Champions Cup final. Toulouse go to the front. It's loose ball. Movaka goes in to clear. Dupont at scrum off, looking to feed one of his loose forwards, securing the ball and playing it now. It's chipped ahead along the ground, and Hugo Keenan has to cover at the back. Wonderful positioning from the fullback. And Leinster regather possession now for the moment. Out of trouble here inside their 22. They're about 15 meters in from this right-hand touchline. It's Gibson Park from the base who shapes with the kick. And he finds a wonderful clearance, the Irish scrum off. It's Ireland versus France here this afternoon. As I mentioned, of course, last night we witnessed the shocks doing their razzle-dazzle magic, overcoming Gloucester, a very fancied Gloucester side, but they were just undone in scrum time by the likes of Oxenchair and man of the match Vincent Cock, Bongi and Bonambi, respectively. Will we see the same here in the engine room? For the moment, Toulouse win the line out from that clearance kick, and it's a penalty, says the referee, to Toulouse. Unfortunately, they're Leinster infringing at ruck time. Osborne, the culprit. Is this an early opportunity here for a three-pointer? We're on halfway centre field. And Blair Kinghorn is going to be the man entrusted to take the opportunity to get the 3 points here for Toulouse. Obviously, the likes of Thomas Ramos coming off the bench. It's a strong bench for both teams, no doubt. Europe's premier two clubs competing here this afternoon. Clear conditions. Kinghorn with the opportunity. Locked in on the post. Takes one last look at the ball. Strikes it beautifully. It's sailing down the middle of the uprights. And it's over. That's 3 points to lose on the board by 3-0 here. You don't want to be giving penalties away. 50 metres out, Kinghorn. No doubt with that one. You can see what it means to him. You can see what it means to the fans. And once he struck it, it was going over, over, over. Leinster kick off. With the restart, DuPont at the base. Digging in there to secure the ball. Leinster making a nuisance of themselves. Dan Sheehan amongst others, but it's from the base that DuPont decides to put it high into the sky at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium in Leinster. Via Ty Furlong. Take it up, but it's Gibson Park. Osborne wrapped up there. Some wonderful defence, Leinster at the moment. Have no answer, and it's another penalty to Toulouse here. The pressure they're being put under for the moment. Insatiable stuff here from Toulouse. Wonderful counter ruck. Not securing the ball. And this Toulouse pack, no doubt, fired up for this one. Miofao, Movaka amongst others in there. And another opportunity for a three-pointer. So, taking the points when on offer. It's a Champions Cup final here. And we're about 45 metres on the angle. We're 15 metres in from this left-hand touchline. It's just inside the Leinster half. Kinghorn showed us that he's got the distance. Can he make it 2 out of 2 here? It's sailing. It's sailing. It's over again. His kicking boots are on. And Toulouse go up by 6 points to 0 here. Taking it in threes for the moment. Leinster are going to have to be a little bit more disciplined as the restart is made now. Shout out to Usil from Leinster, who's watching on the channel. Shout out there. Of course, the head office says Leinster for a win, as well as Franco Horn will be at the second box camp. He's no doubt had a wonderful season for the Lions. Mark Sony says, bend it like Kinghorn. He's definitely got those Beckham kicking boots on today as the clearance is made here from Toulouse. It's all efficient stuff for the moment, just letting the ball bounce from the kickoff, which you perhaps don't want to do. The bounce of the rugby ball can be so unforgiving. But Leinster have the throw-in on Toulouse 10-metre mark now as they go centre field via Henshaw. The outside centre, it's Gibson Park now. Byrne goes in to clean up the loose ball there. Leinster fly off as they play down this right-hand blind side, making some post-contact meters, but it's Toulouse again. This time around, it's advantage to Leinster now. It's a free play. Not having it their own way for the moment, but looking for space here. Here come Leinster now. The ball's gone loose. The referee playing advantage wonderfully, letting the game flow here. Leinster inside the 22 of Toulouse. No advantage, says the referee. They're going to come back. But Leinster showing they've got a trick or two of their own there in midfield. Wonderful dummy lines there. It was just a loose pass. James Lowe going through. Lovely little fend. Taking the likes of Romar with him. Feeding Gibson Park, but just the ball going loose at an inopportune moment. But an interesting decision here from Leinster. They decided to go for the corner, and Leo Cullen, looking at his notes, making sure they're sticking to the game plan here. But Leinster with the positive play, no doubt. They're only 5 meters out. And Dan Sheehan, the man with ball in hand to feed this line out. 10 minutes gone. It's Toulouse who lead by 6 points to 0 here. To Caelan Doris it goes as they go marching on with the driving maul. Toulouse conceding territory inch by inch here as Leinster go marching on. Aldegheri finding himself on the wrong side of that maul. Intermac going in to make the tackle. They're only 3 meters out now. Furlong, the tight head prop for Leinster. Here's a real opportunity now. Out the back door. It's a loose pass. Blair Kinghorn, who kicked those 2 penalties, comes in to make the tackle. And off their feet to try and secure that ball with Leinster. It's going to be a penalty in favour of Toulouse as they look to break away quickly here. It was Malia and Dupont trying something quick there, but the ball just going into touch. It's all happening here at the Champions Cup final at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Share this link with your friends and family. Let's get on board with this journey here on Forever Rugby and Forever Sports, the home of rugby. It's all happening here. Leinster in possession now from the line out on Toulouse's 10-meter mark. Gibson Park cleans up the loose ball and it's put high into the air here. Who wants it? It's Caelan Doris who says, I do. And they come away with possession now. Is there an opportunity for James Lowe? Surely now. Just not able to get that last pass away. Frenetic stuff here. Wonderful work there from Byrne, the fly-half. Seeing the space on this left-hand side. The bounce of the ball. But just the last pass there from James Lowe. And the ball going into touch. It's actually, in fact, Dan Sheehan who looked to play James Lowe there. Wonderful work to keep the ball in play. And it was Rumar who had the last hand in there. It's going to be a line out in favour of Leinster here. Five metres out on this left-hand touchline. Toulouse still lead by 6-0 with those two penalties from Blair Kinghorn. Time off for the moment here. Just some attention to one of the backline players of Toulouse. Sheehan feeds the line out. To the front they go. It's a driving maul again. They know something we don't. Advantage, says the referee. Gibson Park with the free play here. Can Leinster make something happen? It's Keenan. Looking to razzle-dazzle with his feet there. Just brought to ground. They're 3 metres out. Doris. Still under advantage, says the referee. It's Keenan again. Looking for work, the fullback. Gibson Park to Sheehan. He's brought to ground. And here come Leinster now. No advantage, says the referee. We're coming back for the penalty. It was a maul infringement there. Collapsing the maul, says the referee. And it's all Leinster after those two early penalties. Leinster have been in the right areas of the field. They want to come away with some points here. Interestingly enough, not opting for the 3-pointers. Going into touch. Mark Sony says Leinster going for the corner because they might get burned going for goal. I take it. Not as accurate in terms of his goal kicking. That's what you're saying, Mark? I see positive play here from Leinster, but the loose line out is gathered. And it's Leinster who come away with its centre field. They're 8 metres out. It's turned over. Joe McCarthy thinks he's over for the try. But it was knocked on in the process. The referee points to a scrum to Toulouse. Heartbreak for the Leinster fans here. McCarthy was over, getting some feedback from the referee. But it was lost forward. Clearly in the process there. And Toulouse have an exit potential here. Under the pump, inside their own danger zone. Not conceding any points. Psychologically, what would that mean for them? Leinster have been banging on the front door, banging on the back door, but not coming up with anything to show for it for the moment. It's Toulouse via Dupont to feed the scrum here. They're only about 8 metres from their own try line. 15 metres in from this left-hand touchline with the opportunity to clear here. They want to work themselves to the right area of the field. It's Dupont who breaks away down this left-hand blind. Takes it upon himself to kick. The ball doesn't go into touch. And here comes Hugo Keenan with the goose step just inside Toulouse's half now for the moment. Leinster putting phase after phase together. But Toulouse not phased at all on defence, showing that resolution in these adverse times. It's Gibson Park to burn with the long skip ball out here. The fullback, Hugo Keenan, heavily involved up to this point. They're going to need to get some points here with all this pressure. For the moment, it's gone high. Intermac is hit hard. It's a loose ball. Who wants it? James Lowe. It's chipped ahead or towed ahead. And James Lowe picks up the loose ball. It's happening here. Leinster piling on the pressure. Gibson Park to Doris. The defence holding out. Furlong. Nowhere to go. Osborne brought to ground. They just inside the 22 of Toulouse here. 15 metres in from this left-hand touchline. And this time around off their feet Toulouse, says the referee. Playing the ball illegally so. Will we see a three-pointer here for all their endeavours? But Intermac took that ball, was hit hard in the tackle. A couple of phases back. The intensity is frenetic, but you'd expect nothing less in a Champions Cup final. And penalty to Leinster off their feet at that ruck, says the referee. They're going to have to find an opportunity to just calm things down, Toulouse. They don't want to be defending for long periods. Can tend to take the life out of you. The likes of Jacques Nienaber, of course, involved with Leinster. We know he's got a winning mentality. The Springbok World Cup winning coach. How will that rub off on this team? Trailing by 6, but an opportunity here to add 3 points. Byrne decides, I'll take 3. Thank you very much. And Leinster are on the board as we close in this first quarter here of the Champions Cup final. The head office says, go Leinster. No doubt they'll be wanting to make amends for seasons gone by. They've been in the final on so many occasions and just come up short. Trail here for the moment by 6 points to 3. Intermac with the restart. Wonderful work by Toulouse to gather the restart. They're tucked up against this left-hand touchline. And they're in possession now just outside the 22. Dupont. Speed at the ruck. Incredible. Intermac looking to break, but obstruction, says the referee. Was Costes just getting in the way there of a Leinster defender. Not able to get their hands on Intermac, and Leinster now have an opportunity to put the ball into touch, which they do. Between the 10-metre mark and 22-metre mark of Toulouse here. All of a sudden they find themselves in the right area of the field. Obstructive running, says the referee. Clear as daylight. Tense stuff here in the Champions Cup final. But it's Leinster via Sheehan with the line-out throw. Efficient. Osborne to Caelan Doris. He's brought to ground centre field. It's Gibson Park who decides to change the direction. It's gone high in the air. It's loose. And it's Jordan Lama who picks up the loose ball. Leinster still in possession. But somehow, Mifao has got the ball away. Ripped loose there. Advantage here. Scrum advantage to Toulouse. And they can come away with it here and exit. Inside their 22, it's Dupont who's shaping at the base. He's got the safety of the 22, but decides to keep it in field. And here comes James Lowe. Ball in play time, exceptional here. It's lost forward by James Lowe. Kicked ahead, so advantage over from that knock-on from James Lowe. Leinster kick it upfield, and here come Toulouse with a kick of their own. Big hit there from Blair Kinghorn on Hugo Keenan, his opposite number. Bodies flying in. There's space down this left-hand side, but quickly closed down was Caelan Doris. It's Gibson Park to Furlong. It takes 2 to bring him to ground. Leinster stuck inside their own half here. Trail by those 3 points. 2 penalties to 1 in favour of Toulouse. Wonderfully taken in the air there by Intermac. Brought to ground by Caelan Doris, but it's DuPont who looks to break away. Aldegheri with ball in hand. There was a slight knock on. It's come from the assistant referee. But it's helter-skelter stuff here in the Champions Cup final. In fact, it wasn't Hugo Keenan, it was Byrne. Taken down by Blair Kinghorn there. We've seen some big hits. Caelan Doris hit hard by Carr. Both sides intense on defence. We see it at the counter ruck as well. And it must be said, the ball in play time has been exceptional. Wonderful quality of rugby here. And an early substitution here. Aki coming off the field has done himself an injury. He'll take no further part. And it's Chocobares who will replace him there. Not what they foresaw. Toulouse, but nonetheless, still lead by 6 points to 3 here. Time off for the moment. Time has flown by. We're into the second quarter. Low scoring affair here. We've seen on a number of occasions Leinster turning down the 3 points and then eventually, after their last penalty, deciding we have to get something to show for it. And we're going to restart here. 5 metres out from this left-hand touchline, on halfway in favour of Leinster. It was a slight knock-on that was called by the assistant referee. Big disparity in possession in favour of Leinster, but still trail on the scoreboard. 65% possession to 35. It's not how much of the ball you have. Sometimes it's what you can do with it. We know that having the ball more often gives you more opportunities. But Toulouse holding them out on defence. Strong scrum, it's advantage to Leinster here. And away with it comes Robbie Henshaw. Up and over into the 22. Leinster now on attack. There's a big opportunity. Gibson Park feeds Caelan Doris. They're only 20 metres out. Another opportunity by Henshaw. Surely now advantage over from that earlier scrum, penalty advantage. Just not getting enough players to arrive over the ball, Leinster, and it was Romain Intermac. The little fly off going in there. On his feet legally, says the referee. Securing a penalty for Toulouse. Wonderful work from James Lowe earlier on in that set play from the scrum to feed Henshaw. They just didn't have much of an attacking shape. Henshaw was involved again. But Intermac, after making that tackle, got to his feet. And legally over the ball, says the referee. Toulouse breathe again. They're going to have to get to the right areas of the field. I wouldn't quite call it dominated. They are ahead on the scoreboard. But Toulouse have had all the possession. It's just, Leinster, should I say. Toulouse have just not been able to get to the right areas of the field to effect any sort of attack. And from that ensuing line out from the penalty kick, it's Leinster who disrupt that maul via the likes of McCarthy there, and it's going to be a scrum down to Leinster. So it's just those unnerving moments for Toulouse, maybe losing the mini battles within the battle here in the Champions Cup final, in my opinion. Defending resolutely, no doubt, Toulouse in that first quarter. But via the boot of Blair Kinghorn, have the lead by 6 points to 3. They have been kind of stuck inside their own half. Leinster systematically know how to hold on to the ball here, and it's going to be Jameson Gibson Park to feed. We're just on halfway again, 15 meters in from this left-hand touchline. Solid scrum from both sides there. It's gone down both ways, so the referee says play it. And Leinster come away with it now. It's towed ahead. It's Kinghorn who's got some wonderful positioning there. Returns it with the boot, and it's James Lowe this time. Doesn't opt for the kick. Feeds Osborne, who goes straight down the middle. It's Kinghorn again. This time around finds a very, very good touch up to the 10-meter mark on this right-hand touchline in Leinster's territory. No real opportunity for Toulouse up to this point to really get inside the 22 and beyond of Leinster. Being shut out for the moment in terms of possession. And again, it's going to be Sheehan to feed the line out. They've been functioning efficiently. And as I say that, Toulouse contest at the line out. And here comes Anton Dupont, who looks to break away. Makes a good couple of meters, and Toulouse now with the real opportunity. Up and over the 10-meter mark of Leinster. What have they got to offer here? It's Intermac. There's an opportunity now here as they go down this left-hand side. It's the outside centre. Costes brought to ground. They're 10 meters out. Dupont's pass, not accurate, and Leinster steal it away. Would you believe it? Perhaps just a little bit hasty there, in my opinion. But both sides running optimally. It's charged down. But regathered by Leinster and put along the ground and up just about to the 10-meter mark. It's going to be a line out to Toulouse. It was charged down from James Lowe. Anton Dupont putting on the pressure. But the ball falling kindly for Leinster, and then having a second bite of the cherry and putting it into touch. But the intensity is clear for all to see here. And it's Mo Vaka who feeds the line out. They're on the 10-meter mark of Leinster here. And Sheehan with a lovely little step. He's away. Can anybody catch him? Dan Sheehan sailing for the line. Gliding the hooker. They're only 5 meters out, but all over the ball there were Toulouse. In the blink of an eye, Dan Sheehan with the lovely little step, showing he's got the gas. Brought down meters from the try line. And then Leinster infringing at ruck time. But he was away. Wonderful covering defence managed to bring him to ground. And Leinster then going off their feet. Ripped off Anton Dupont. Stepped into Mac. And he put everything in that run there. Osborne went in. But it was Dupont who was over the ball after initially losing it. But what a run from the hooker of Leinster, Dan Sheehan. Toulouse can clear their lines here. 5-4 penalties conceded. Leinster 5, Toulouse 4. Discipline hasn't been that much of an issue. But just in those final moments in the danger zone, Leinster there not doing themselves any favours. It's Mofaka to DuPont. It's a loose ball. It's a penalty in favour of Toulouse here. 2 consecutive penalties gets them an opportunity now to put the ball into Leinster's territory. Via Romain Intermac. Not been able to put too many phases together, been starved of possession. Crazy stuff here in the Champions Cup final. This half hour has flown by. It's Toulouse who lead by 6-3 here. Tense moments. And it's a loose line out. It's Byrne who feeds Henshaw. It's knocked on. It's dropped cold, and Toulouse have a scrum advantage here. Intermac. He has an opportunity now. Malia. Down this right-hand touchline. Just can't find the right angle. Advantage over, says the referee. Furlong, the tight head, involved in making that tackle. Throwing himself all over the park. But it's going to be another line out for Leinster here. Toulouse not winning their own ball on that occasion. No real damage done, but conceding possession nonetheless. Sheehan with the throw-in. It's clean ball McCarthy to Gibson Park off the top. Caelan Doris in midfield. Looking to bust his way up, but he's brought to ground. Byrne puts it high. It's contestable. It's Kinghorn. Having a solid afternoon, the fullback. Toulouse have got possession. Can they put a couple of phases together? We haven't seen double-digit phases from Toulouse as of yet. Stout defence from Leinster here, keeping Toulouse inside their own half. Still in possession. It's DuPont who looks to shape with the kick from the base. He does so. Looks for a 50-22. It's incredible stuff from the scrum half. Absolutely incredible power on the kick. The trajectory of the kick. And Toulouse will have an opportunity here. With the 50-22, we're only about 16, 18 meters out. Inches in it. But in a Champions Cup final like this, it's a game of inches. Wonderful work from Anton DuPont there. Toulouse at the front via Movaka. What's the score prediction, guys? Do share in the comment section. Of course, hit the like button. Hit subscribe if you haven't. Share it with your friends. This is the beautiful game of rugby. It's Intermac who goes wide. Down this right-hand side. There's an opportunity now. Lebel brought to ground, and all of a sudden, it's turned over but lost forward in the process by Leinster. And this is a real opportunity for Toulouse now as we reach just about 5 minutes out from half time for them to get over the try line. Put a bit of distance between these two sides. They haven't had it all their own way. Leinster perhaps not doing enough with the ball in hand. Bit of a loose pass from DuPont, looking for Movaka. McCarthy there intercepting, but just couldn't hold on to it. It's all worked out in favour of Toulouse here. We're 15 meters in from this right-hand touchline. We're about 8 meters out from Leinster's try line here. And Toulouse will have the feed to the scrum. It's a packed house at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, in case you missed it, of course. Last night, the Sharks bringing home South Africa's first European trophy in the Challenge Cup final against Gloucester, overcoming Gloucester by 36 points to 22. What a classy performance from the likes of Oxenchair, Yeben Etzebeth, amongst others, Makazolama Pimpi, and of course, Vincent Koch, the man of the match, doing his work up front, carrying well, putting in a kick, a 50-22 kick. Can you believe it? He himself said he didn't know where that came from. But just showing you what sort of skill these players have. We always tend to think, well, a tight forward can only scrum. In the modern age of rugby, we see pace, we see skill, we see so much. And here at the moment, we see a penalty in favour of Toulouse. They've had a scrum penalty go against them. But now another opportunity to add potentially 3 points here. Porter, the man pinged by the referee, the loose head prop of Leinster. Going straight to ground, says the referee. And will Kinghorn step up here and take the 3 points? Put them a score clear here. They've opted for the posts. Toulouse ahead by 6-3. But take your points when they're on offer. And Blair Kinghorn is the man with 2 out of 2 to potentially add the extra 3. They haven't got many visits inside the opposition 22 Toulouse, but they can come away with 3 here. It's Kinghorn. One of the easiest of the 3 kicks. Makes no mistake, it's over. Make that 9-3. It's still a tense affair here in the Champions Cup final. Leinster trail by 6 with about 3 minutes to go before half time. The restart this time around from Byrne has gone straight into touch and gifting Toulouse an opportunity here on halfway with the scrum. An unforced error there for all their possession. They have not come up with enough ideas to break through this Toulouse defence. When the points were on offer, Toulouse have taken them all. Leinster, on a number of occasions, opting for the corner. Got that solitary penalty. Can Toulouse make something happen here just before half time? The scrums are always contentious, no doubt. If the referee also sees early dominance, which it must be said, both sides have had the opportunities. It was unlike last night's game where the Sharks were miles and miles ahead of Gloucester in the scrum. He might tend to have a natural bias to blow in favour of the team on the ascendancy. But it's Toulouse here who come away with it. It's a penalty. It's an infringement at ruck time from Leinster. The game is far from over, says the head office, no doubt. But definitely a late hit there on the replacement Chocobares. Is this going to be up for a TMO review here? Is there some drama here in the Champions Cup final? It's Robbie Henshaw, the culprit. It will be interesting to see, of course, come the second half, how the bench, the finishers on both sides can integrate themselves into proceedings. This game, no doubt, small margins, many battles within the big battle, as we said. Both sides have a strong bench to follow. Toulouse, of course, have had to make an early substitution. It's that man Chocobares who came on for Aki, who was down for the moment, but he looks to be okay. We still have the likes of Thomas Ramos, who no doubt will be introduced, the French fullback. Very versatile player. The battle scars showing across the board here. The attrition rate no doubt will be high at this intensity. Europe's premier rugby competition, the Champions Cup final, and Toulouse have an opportunity here just before half time. Will there be enough time for a restart? It's Blair Kinghorn on the angle here. Backs himself for the distance. They're up by 9-3. Takes one last look. The strike is good. This time around, just not finding the direction. Just shaving the left hand upright. That's his first miss of the afternoon. It had the distance. Time is up on the clock. There will be one restart. Byrne with ball in hand. Puts it deep. What did Toulouse do? It's Dupont. He's wrapped up by Caelan Doris. It's Dan Sheehan over the ball. We saw him make a wonderful run earlier, but showing his versatility, not only throwing the ball accurately in at the line out, not only making a lovely burst upfield, but in over the ball there was Dan Sheehan, winning the penalty for Leinster. And we're going to be playing on. Leinster don't want to go into half time. Behind on the scoreboard, they backing themselves here. Up and into the 22 of Toulouse they go on this right-hand touchline. Leinster have been in the opposition 22 on almost about 3 times the amount that Toulouse have been in Leinster's 22. And yet they still trail on the scoreboard. But it's Caelan Doris from the line out. It's quick play, and Leinster will have an opportunity here. 15 metres out, it's Osborne. The attacking shape just losing its momentum for the moment, but still in possession via Robbie Henshaw. And it's Leinster who have the penalty advantage. No advantage, says the referee. Toulouse were offside. James Lowe thinks he's over for the try, but the referee had blown his whistle. Would you believe it? The referee felt there was no advantage there. That might be a contentious one. If you clip that out, the players of Leinster just asking the referee, why in the world did you blow the whistle? James Lowe did all the work to score the try. And Toulouse will have to settle perhaps with the 3 points conceded against him. It was Chocobares in there on the number 5 lock. Jason Jenkins, who's just getting some attention. The referee doesn't seem to think there's anything wrong there. But it's all happening here. James Ryan looking to warm up from the bench in case he's needed. with 3 minutes over time here, and it's going to be a penalty kick at goal attempted by Byrne here to take it to 9-6. Ross Byrne for Leinster to make it a 3-point game just before half time here. Distance won't be a problem. Toulouse will hold on to a slender lead at half time. It's over. It's 9 points to 6, and that is half time, folks, here in the Champions Cup final. Go and get your refreshments, no doubt. We'll be back for the second half of this pulsating clash here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's Toulouse who lead by 9 points to 6. Hello and welcome back here on Forever Rugby and Forever Sports. It was a pulsating first half in this Champions Cup final. It's Toulouse who lead by 9 points to 6 here, and this is the half, of course. It goes without saying that matters. Can Leinster overcome their previous hurdles of just coming up short in the Champions Cup final on a number of occasions? Or can Toulouse hold out? They've been made to play most of the first half without possession, but they're still in the lead. They've never lost the lead. In fact, it's Leinster just before half-time and got that penalty via Ross Byrne to make it 9 points to 6. It's a low-scoring affair, but this is what you'd expect in Europe's premier elite rugby competition, the Champions Cup final. We're underway in the second half via Leinster from left to right via Ross Byrne as he goes deep inside Toulouse 22. It's Antoine Dupont who shapes at the base with the kick. His favoured left boot. He finds the touchline deep inside Leinster's half, right up to their 10-metre mark. We see the likes of James Ryan, of course, coming on the field here. A replacement for Jason Jenkins, who did look to do a little bit of an injury towards the latter part of that first half, but Leinster have the feed here via Sheehan, who's had a strong game in this final, the Irish hooker. Leinster in possession from the line out. Byrne to Henshaw. Strong running all afternoon. It's Toulouse who've had all the defending to do. It's Osborne who goes in. The inside centre, Gibson Park. It's quick ball for Leinster. Jordan Lama off his right wing on this left-hand side, but it's turned over. Toulouse. No, they have some work to do to keep ball in hand. They do so. Is there a 50-22 opportunity here? No, the bounce of the ball in favour of Leinster there, but Ross Byrne is back in cover and he puts the ball out into touch. It's between the 22 and 10-metre mark. Inside their own territory, Leinster. Toulouse will have the line out. This is where it all happens here in the second half. No doubt from 50, 55, 60 minutes, we'll see the introduction of the finishers off the bench. It's Mo Vaka who feeds. He finds his man. Toulouse go charging on. Chocobares. Dupont. Into Mac. Puts it high to his left winger here. Wonderful cover there from Gibson Park, who takes the mark. He puts it upfield. Right deep into the 22. Toulouse will look to find as much territory as they can. They don't put it into touch. It's Hugo Keenan who comes running back. He finds a little bit of space, but he's brought to ground. Gibson Park at the base here. A slender lead for Toulouse, but it's Gibson Park shaping for a kick. It's high, it's contestable. Who wants it? It's Blair Kinghorn. Strong afternoon at fullback, but holding on, says the referee. Wonderful turnover there. Beard the man all over the ball. Legally so, says the referee. On his feet, contesting. And it's Leinster who get the victory in this mini battle. That's been the order of proceedings all afternoon. Back and forth, Leinster go for the corner here. within range for the three-pointer to level it up, but they want the line out. And the line out is in fact what they get. It's going to be Sheehan who feeds deep into the 22 on this left-hand touchline. But Toulouse come away with the ball. Wonderful steal there. Dupont. Feeding one of his tight forwards. Just to change the angle on the kick here, perhaps. We'll look to put it out with that favoured left boot of his. Efficient from Dupont, efficient from Toulouse there. Just running out of ideas, perhaps. Come line out time, they've been good all afternoon in that first half. As we see a replacement coming on the field here. Josh van der Fleer coming on for Connors. Early replacements for Leinster. What do they know that we don't? But a handy replacement to have in Josh van der Fleer, and it's Toulouse all over the ball there. Knock on, scrum advantage as the referee. Leinster have possession on the 10-metre mark off Toulouse here. Look to put it to the boot. What does the referee say? Offside. What a strong battle it's been at ruck time. Movaka in there. Over the ball for Toulouse, but just in the process. Losing possession. Six minutes into the second half. It's going to be Ross Byrne to level it up potentially here for Leinster. They want to have something to come away with all the possession they've had, some sort of ascendancy in terms of the scoreboard, at least level it up here. And Ross Byrne running out of time on the shot clock. He's within range. It's down the middle. It's 3 points for Leinster. Over! It's all level here. Jacques Nienaber looking on. He has a wry smile. Perhaps they have one or two tricks up their sleeve. He knows how to win a final. Of course we know that. Just look at the Springboks in the World Cup final. Toulouse with the restart. It's loose, but Leinster have possession via Josh van der Fleer. Outside their 22, there's no safety of the touchline. Just knocked on, says the referee. But it's tit for tat here in the Champions Cup final. And the scores are level. Leinster 9, Toulouse 9. And Jacques Nienaber coming on as the water boy. All part of the plan. Out of the book of Dr. Rassi, no doubt. What influence can he have on this Leinster side? It's all going down to the wire here. There's just a little over a half an hour to go here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. What a joyride it's been. No tries as of yet, 3 penalties apiece. via the boot of Blair Kinghorn and Ross Byrne respectively. But for the first time, you almost feel as if Leinster have something up their sleeve here. Just outside the 22, time is still off. We will restart with the scrum in favour of Leinster. What words of wisdom did Jock Nienaber have there for this Leinster side, especially the pack of forwards? Strong afternoon for Furlong at tight head, Dan Sheehan, and the likes of Porter. But you feel the tense moments here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. It's a full house. Equal on the scoreboard. This is Champions Cup final rugby. As Gibson Park feeds. Advantage to Leinster, says the referee. As they look to break away via James Lowe. Up to their own 10-metre mark now. It's towed ahead. Who wants it? Toulouse have got it. But no advantage, says the referee. We're coming back for the scrum penalty. And the tight head of Toulouse under all sorts of pressure there, Aldegheri. From the likes of Porter. And slowly the pendulum of momentum shifting in favour of this Leinster side, who've had the bulk of possession. They put it into touch on halfway. And they have the feed to the line out here. Do share in the comment section from where in the world, where in South Africa you tuned in. I'll be interested to know the game of rugby, the beautiful game of rugby, has us tuning in from all over, no matter from what walk of life you are. In and amongst these four lines, the battles and the love is always shared universally. So please do share in the comment section with me here. It's Leinster breakaway via Caelan Doris. They feed James Lowe out wide. He just can't break away. Held on by the ankles there. It's Toulouse all over the ball. And all over the ball illegally, though, says the referee. Is there a real first opportunity here for Leinster to take the lead? With a three-pointer here, is this game going to be 1 in 3s? We have to mention it. We take you back to the 1995 Rugby World Cup final, where the Springboks overcame the All Blacks by 15 points to 12. No tries on that occasion. It was the boot of Andrew Mertens and Joel Stransky, respectively. And then, of course, the moment that changed the history for South Africa, when Joel Stransky kicked that drop goal. Are we going to see something similar here? But no, they've gone for the line out, well within range for the three-pointer. Leinster feel they have the ascendancy here and slowly inching forward with the maul. Sheehan at the back looking to recycle the ball. He can't do so. Toulouse thwarting that attack there from the maul. The passion, allez les bleus, running rampant here from the fans of Toulouse. One would have thought they'd take the 3 points. James Ryan took it in. They went forward inch by inch. Josh van der Fleer, Porter, Sheehan controlling the ball at the back. McCarthy in there. But Toulouse somehow scrambled all over the ball. And Leinster have nothing to show for that. Many battles here all afternoon here in the Champions Cup final. We're 5 meters out from Toulouse try line. And they'll have the feed to the scrum. The head office says, Cape Town, shout out to you in Cape Town. What are the Stormers going to do next weekend against the Lions in the URC? The Lions, of course, need a victory to cement their place in the last 8 and subsequently will guarantee them a place in the Champions Cup final. I'm assuming you're a Stormers fan. The head office. Over and out, here come Toulouse. From the scrum, 5 meters out from this right-hand touchline. Still stuck inside their 22, it's DuPont. Getting a better angle on the kick now. Willie Shape. He can kick from both sides, of course. Talent in abundance. Opts to keep it in field. It's Keenan to James Lowe for Leinster. Up to halfway, Gibson Park. Porter, the loose head, putting his head down, going route 1. Ross Byrne puts it high. In the Tottenham sky here. It's Robbie Henshaw who comes away with the loose ball. The 50-50 goes in favour of Leinster as they come marching on via Joe McCarthy. Josh van der Fleer up and over 15 metres out from the Toulouse try line. Leinster come charging on. Porter almost freeing up his hands, but Toulouse somehow managing to thwart that. DuPont has a think about going for the ball. It's lost forward. And Toulouse again escape. Some serious pressure there. And kick the ball away. Hugo Keenan to Van der Fleer. Trying to hold him up for a maul. Toulouse doing just enough there. The head office says, I'm a neutral supporter supporting great rugby worldwide. Wow, what a wonderful comment to have or to receive there. No doubt Stormers will dominate the Lions in Cape Town. It's a tough one because the Stormers lose. They're also in a bit of trouble of their own. But what a run it's been from the Lions, no doubt, in the URC. But we have to make a special mention again to the Sharks in the Challenge Cup. Albeit the second division to the Champions Cup, a European trophy is a European trophy. They've been waiting for so many years. And to bring one home for South Africa, whether you're a Cheetahs fan, a Lions fan, a Stormers or Bulls fan, or any other team for that matter. Last night we were no doubt supporting the Sharks. The score still locked in here at 9-all. 5 minutes to close in on this third quarter. Arnold on for Muirfowl. Couple of replacements on the Toulouse side. The line out from this right-hand touchline just inside the half of Leinster here, Toulouse. Getting used to playing this game without much possession, but they're going to have to do something with it here. DuPont calling for reinforcements. Intermac trying to tit and dart his way through. What a tense affair here this afternoon in the final. DuPont. Are we going to see a moment of magic? Big defence from Leinster though. But putting a few phases together here, Toulouse. Just inside the Leinster half, DuPont. Driven back there, one of his tight forwards. Puts it to boot. Trying to find grass, but Leinster now come away with it and put it upfield. Well covered there by Kinghorn, who's had a strong afternoon, the fullback. Sheehan just off his feet, couldn't effect any counter-ruck there. Out the back door, Toulouse looking to feed it wide down this left-hand side. It's Labelle. He's had precious possession all afternoon, Toulouse. Want to do something with this ball now, surely. Surely now. Still by. Brought to ground. Centre field now. It's DuPont. Intermac. Up to the 10-metre mark. Feeds Costes the outside centre. It's advantage, says the referee. Leinster trying to defend for dear life, and in the process have given away a penalty for offside. The defence not behind the last man's feet. The referee on the spot there. Is this an opportunity now for Toulouse to take the lead back that they've garnished all afternoon? Costes just getting some attention. We see the likes of Merkle on for Aldegheri. As I mentioned, Arnold on for Meerfowl. And it's Toulouse who have an opportunity here to put a 3-pointer over and go back into the lead via Blair Kinghorn. 3 out of 4. Did have that one solitary miss, but he's kicked well. Considering the pressure, considering the circumstances. He has some time on the shot clock. He takes one look at the post. One last look at the ball. It's within range, surely now. Kinghorn sailing over! Make that Toulouse 12. They're into double figures. Back in the lead. And they go crawling back to their place that they've rightfully earned. Taking the points when they're on offer. And Nettie's on for Cyril Bai, as well as Thomas Ramos making his appearance for the outside centre. Costes, it will be interesting to see where he slots in. But definitely the man with the boot to get you out of trouble when you're in trouble. As the restart is made from Ross Byrne, it's DuPont. No doubt he'll be staying on the field. The French talisman as Toulouse look to break away here. Intermac, Kinghorn. They put it upfield now, straight into the hands of Hugo Keenan, though, who takes no chances and puts it out on this right-hand touchline just inside the half of Toulouse. It's a battle within battles, of course, as we said, with the finishers coming on the field. Conan on for Beard. Now we get to see how we separate the men from the boys here. Both sides, of course. 23 men on each side, but just in the context of who can get over the line. Who will have the bragging rights for gold here? Toulouse in possession. Strong carry there. Over the advantage line. DuPont. Putting it to boot was Intermac there. Keenan. Covering well at fullback. Feeds James Lowe, who has his favourite left boot. Tries to find this right-hand touchline, but it stays in field. And Toulouse come away with it now via Kinghorn to Ramos. Are Toulouse starting to stretch themselves here in terms of their own momentum? Can they back themselves? No, in fact, a call has come from the assistant referee. Very tight call, but it's a forward pass, says the referee there. It's going to be a scrum down to Leinster here. New faces in the front row. How will things go here for Toulouse? It's been ups and downs, thrills and spills, but we're into the last quarter here in the Champions Cup final. Toulouse hold on to a slender lead by 12 points to 9. Shout out Rudolph Smith. I appreciate you, brother. This is the game I love the most. In fact, sport in general, how it can bring people together, how we can share our commonality more than our differences. All happens on the field, in the octagon, no matter what sport you're playing or watching, to see the joy that it can bring to people. I think far too often we focus on our differences. Yes, we support other teams respectively, but that should never take away from our passion and our love that lies within our heart for this wonderful game, whichever game it is. James Lowe looks to break away, but it's a penalty, says the referee, in favour of Leinster. Offside at scrum time. Chokobaris went in there to make a big hit, just disrupting James Lowe for the moment there, but playing under advantage. The referee says in favour of Leinster. Decision time here. Is it within range? Slender lead for Toulouse for the moment. 18 minutes to play. Will we see Jock Ninov? I'm trying to have a look. Is he on the field to give some words of wisdom? Again, the Waterboy. It's a game of inches here. Ross Byrne just getting some attention. The referee asking him, hello. We want to get on with it. It's been a frenetic pace, it must be said. All afternoon, no tries as of yet. 4 penalties in favour of Toulouse. Leinster with 3 penalties of their own, trailing by those 3 points. And you still feel there's something to give here. But what a tight affair in Europe's elite competition. Frawley looking to come on the field for Leinster. Just looking to see who he will be replacing. And again, Leinster have decided against the 3 points to level it up. They're going for the touchline here. They want the 5-pointer. Will that be the straw that breaks the camel's back here? But for the most part, up to now, Toulouse have done just enough to thwart that sort of attack. Sheehan at the line out to James Ryan. It's solid. It's a maul. It's rumbling forward here. Gibson Park Goes digging in there. To James Lowe. Osborne. Caught behind the advantage line now. Leinster. On the attack. Toulouse. 10 metres from their own try line. It's Gibson Park. To James Ryan. It's advantage to Leinster this time around. Potentially an easy 3-pointer if nothing comes of it here. Gibson Park to Intermac. Or should I say Ross Byrne? My apologies. I just saw the number 10 there. It's Leinster again to Robbie Henshaw, who goes charging upfield. Wonderful one-on-one tackling. They try to take it wide to Jordan Lamo, who steps his way into a defender, though. No advantage, says the referee. Up to this point, Toulouse not conceding double figures in terms of penalties there, but you don't want to be giving away too many penalties in this area of the field. And now an opportunity for Leinster to potentially level it up here. And he is, in fact, going to go for the 3-pointer. Only about 15 metres out, straight in front of the uprights. Ross Byrne looking to add the extra 3, was walking off a little bit of a dead leg. I think he'd kick this with his eyes closed. But you still got to get it. 15 minutes to play. More than enough time on the shot clock. This one going down to the wire. It's 3 points. It's over. The scores are level. It's 12 apiece. Leinster against Toulouse in the Champions Cup final. Jacques Nienaber having some massive discussions on his internal radio with his respective coach, Leo Cullen. Not giving anything away, putting his hands over his mouth. You don't know what they're saying. What's the words of wisdom here? Tit for tat we go. 15 minutes to play. Intermac with the restart. Joe McCarthy with the safe hands just outside the 22. To James Ryan. Just looking to shape with the kick from the base here. Gibson Park. He does so, he puts it high. He can't put it out directly. He's outside his 22. Who wants it? It's Jordan Lama who's up and over the halfway line here. Leinster coming away with that 50-50 battle. Henshaw. Feeding Doris. As Porter goes in to clean there and secure the ball. Gibson Park just asking for McCarthy to give him some more extension time. It's high, it's contestable. Who wants it? Leinster again come away with a 50-50 ball. Sometimes you've got to rely on those 50-50s, especially in a tight game like this. Caelan Doris goes in. He's brought to ground. "12 minutes to play here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And Toulouse holding on, keeping their defensive shape. Legally over the ball. The referee says play on, and Toulouse now have an opportunity to break away. Here it is, surely now. Up and over halfway, 5 metres in from this left-hand touchline. Toulouse somehow do some magic at ruck time. Contest for the ball and come away with possession. DuPont at the base to feed. Inside Leinster's half now. Can Toulouse break away at Thomas Ramos? Blair King on. Up and over into the 22 and beyond. Toulouse. Precious possession. Can they make it count? Surely now. Intermac. It's gone wide. The kick is sensational. Is this it? What a try! Yes, man! That is beautiful. That is simply sensational. That is Champions Cup final rugby at its best. Would you believe it? They're going to go up to the TMO. But I'm lost for words. A moment of individual brilliance, precision from Intermac, and the finish perhaps from LeBel is incredible. It's up to the TMO, but if he's got it, you got it. If you don't, forget about it. But the left winger did just about everything he could to put the ball over the line just before his foot hit this left-hand touch line and the corner flag. If that is it, if that's a try, that is incredible stuff. It's not up to me, folks. It's up to the TMO. And no, says the referee. Incredible defense keeps Toulouse out. That would have been something of individual brilliance and the highest order. He can't believe it, LeBel. But no try, says the referee. It's a line out. Leinster will have to feed 5 meters from their own line on this left-hand touch line. Sheehan to feed. For the most part, they've been efficient at line-out time. No contest from Toulouse. Gibson Park. But a wonderful save there, head office, I agree. It looked for all money that was going to be something magical. But Gibson Park, with the cool, calm composure there, puts it into touch on this left-hand touch line. The scores are level. $12 apiece here with 10 minutes to play. As Toulouse go marching on at line-out time, they're just inside Leinster's half here. Advantage, says the referee. No advantage. Penalty to Toulouse. Is this an opportunity now to get into the lead? It's within range. What do they do? Collapsing the maul, says the referee. Joe McCarthy, the man pinned there. And it's going to be Thomas Ramos, the man entrusted to put over potentially 3 points. That'll put Toulouse in the lead here. Very influential player for the French international team. Well within his range. It's on an angle here, but can Thomas Ramos Add the extra 3 to put them in the lead. It's sailing. It's sailing. It's over. Yes, man. Toulouse hit the lead by 15 points to 12. Crucial times here in this Champions Cup final. Leinster have it all to do now. Toulouse, with that 3-point lead, can they put the phases together and hold out here? Still some time to play. 8 minutes left on the clock. It's DuPont. Nervy moments for Leinster. They've been here before. They've come up short before. DuPont with the clearance. Just to calm things down on this left-hand touch line. But you can feel, although we're not there, the tense moments within the stadium on both sides, on the bench, in management. Leinster have to come from behind here. They've got to come up with something. Gibson Park. It's a clean line out. Gibson Park feeds again. McCarthy. He's been industrious all afternoon. Porter goes in there. Frawley with a lovely little break. Leinster now with the opportunity. Up and into the 22 they go, Leinster. Robbie Henshaw. Toulouse defending for dear life here. They don't want to give away a penalty. It's turned over. Incredible stuff. You can feel, should I say, the passion of the French coming through here. Over that ball eagerly, the referee on the spot. And now it's about game management here in the Champions Cup final. Toulouse 15, Leinster 12. They have a penalty to exit here. Can they manage the situation? With about 6 minutes to go. Intermac, ball in hand, looks to find as much ground as he can on this left-hand touchline. They're on their own 10-meter mark to lose here. They're not out of danger yet. Toulouse to feed the line out. Is there going to be a contest here from Leinster? It's safe at the front for Arnold. Toulouse go marching on. It's high from DuPont from the base. Jordan Lama with ball in hand. He looks to break away. Leinster in possession now. Toulouse have given it back to them. Gibson Park. Up and over the 10-meter, or up and over halfway, should I say, working their way to the 10-meter now. Caleb Doris is hit hard. Henshaw. to Josh van der Vlier. 5 minutes to go here. It's high into the air. Who wants it? It's going to be a scrum down to Leinster here. It was put into the air. Intermac was all over it, but he just couldn't hold on. What sort of scrum down do we have here? Just not the safe hands we needed there. Toulouse hold on to a slender lead here. Four minutes to go. Massive scrum here. Toulouse have to be focused, no doubt. Time off for the moment. Just some attention to some of the players here. Gibson Park to feed. This is a crucial scrum here. Scrum penalty could level it up if they take a three-pointer. Can Toulouse hold out? Reset, says the referee. Time getting eaten up on the clock here in this Champions Cup final. High stakes for both teams. If you're a Leinster fan, you're praying for a scrum penalty. It's advantage to Leinster. Penalty, says the referee. And now an opportunity to add 3 points to level it up. It was the loose head prop of Leinster there, Porter. Surely they're going to take the 3 points. One last look at the posts here. It is 3 points. The scores are level. It's 15 apiece. And Toulouse now will have it all to do with 2 minutes to play. Will Intermac put it deep? Leinster gather the restart. Gibson Park puts it high. Alatoa goes in. Leinster now with the opportunity here. Gibson Park, who wants it? Who wants this game more here in the Champions Cup final? Toulouse having to defend for dear life. James Ryan going in there. Gibson Park to Van der Fleer. Driving his way forward. Not committing players to the breakdown. Leinster with the drop goal. Just wide there. Very, very intense moments here in the Champions Cup final. Attempted the drop goal. It was sailing. Just wide. $15 apiece here. Oh, we're in for extra time. It's going to be a restart for Toulouse here. As they look to go deep. Jordan Lama to Josh Van der Fleer. Toulouse have got it. Leinster defending now, but Toulouse just outside their own 22. That will be that. We're going to go into extra time. It's 15 points apiece here, folks. There will be extra time, and I'll see you in just a little bit. Welcome back, folks. In case you missed it, it's extra time. It's going to be 10 minutes a half. And Toulouse will kick off from left to right here. What a pulsating clash here in extra time. No doubt these teams both fighting to the very end here. Jan H.B. Hugo, shout out from Ontario, Canada. Great to have you on the channel. What a great game to cover here in the Champions Cup final. It's Toulouse who come away with possession here on Leinster's 10-meter mark. Release the tackled player, says the referee DuPont. Players out on their feet to Chocobares. The assistant referee getting involved. They're going to have a look if that was a deliberate knockdown or did. Yes. Surely James Lowe is going to be in trouble here. Leinster might be in a whole heap of trouble here to concede a penalty here. James Lowe in no position to catch that ball. And an opportunity here. It's a yellow card. Would you believe it? James Lowe can't believe it. Not what Leinster would have wanted to lose with the opportunity here. Very surprised look on his face. But Toulouse immediately have opted for the 3 points. And Leinster will play with 14 men for the first half year of extra time. Thomas Ramos with the opportunity to put Toulouse into the lead. What a pulsating clash it's been here in the Champions Cup final. Ramos has missed it. The scores stay level. Would you believe it? Leinster kick off. Toulouse come charging in. They up with the man. Leinster down to 14. James Lowe, the influential winger, is out with a yellow card. DuPont. Intermac feeding Blair Kinghorn. He's wrapped up. Arnold goes in. DuPont. Is there an opportunity now? Chocobares. It's LaBelle. LaBelle for the corner. Shot time. Toulouse. They've done it. He was denied earlier. He won't be denied again. Toulouse have put a major stamp on this final with a try from Matthias LaBelle. Show me once, you won't show me twice. And it's Toulouse immediately who capitalize on the one-man advantage. Try time. Surely now. He had one eye, and that was for the try line. Matthias LaBelle, you beauty. Go, 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 Toulouse. Up to 20 points to 15. And Leinster have it all to do now. They must score a try. The conversion will be crucial here from Ramos. He missed the earlier penalty. This one is not going to be missed. It's over. It's 22 points to 15, and Leinster have it all to do with 5 minutes to play in this first half of extra time. Toulouse have one hand on the trophy here in the Champions Cup. Dupont at the base. Leinster will have to do with this whole first half of extra time. A man down. It's high from Dupont. It's contestable. Who wants it? Leinster have got it. Porter from Jamison Gibson Park. 22 points to 15. Leinster will have to score, convert to try to level it up. Wonderful take in the air from Ramos. And a wonderful 50-22 for Toulouse here. Leinster having the monsters in the closet come and meet them again from years gone by. They will have it all to do here in this game of extra time in the Champions Cup final at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. I see a comment from the head office saying, sorry, Jacques Nienaber. Who saw that one coming? It's Toulouse, who have the slight ascendancy now, and it's Dupont who puts a lovely kick in for a 50-22. Just about 3 minutes to play in this first half of extra time. Tense moments across the board, whether you're a Leinster fan or Toulouse fan. But it's Toulouse who have the line out with that 50-22 from Antoine Dupont. Just inside the 22. It's a game of inches here. Toulouse with the feed. They go driving on. Charging on. Go Toulouse. Advantage, says the referee. And in all sorts of trouble now. Penalty to Toulouse. Leinster might have to concede another 3 here. No doubt Toulouse will take their time, but no doubt they'll go for the 3-pointer. Dupont signals to Ramos, who signals to the referee, we'll take the 3, sir, and take it up to 25 points to 15. What an afternoon of Champions Cup final rugby here. Ramos with the penalty kick. It's sailing. Sailing over. 25 points to 15. There's just over a minute to play in the first half of extra time. Would you believe it, how things have changed here? James Lowe's still out with that yellow card. Cian Healy on for Porter. And the bench of Leinster looking quite dejected. Knocked on there from Robbie Henshaw. Looking for a contestable kick there. Frawley, no doubt, just up and behind the forwards of Toulouse. But here is an opportunity for Toulouse to manage the first half of extra time here with this line-out play. 10 points just like that, unanswered for the moment. It's DuPont who puts it high. LaBelle. Gibson Park goes in to clean. But they're in all sorts of trouble, and it's Toulouse who get another penalty. And the momentum, if it's shifted at the rate of knots in favour of them now, Toulouse. Allez Bleu is flying high here. Legally over the ball, says the referee. And they'll have another opportunity with this penalty. Leinster 15, Toulouse 25. And a chance for Thomas Ramos to add another 3 here. Just like that, this game has changed. There is a TMO review here, however. Shout out Andile Mkotwa. What a game it's been. What a game it's been here in the Champions Cup final. It looks like Arnold might be in a little bit of trouble here. Going into clean there. This penalty might be turned around. We might get a yellow card in favour of Leinster here. Just by the look of things. It's all up to the TMO. Is that a rugby collision? It's going to be a straight red card. Would you believe it? There's more drama here in the Champions Cup final. Richie Arnold is getting a straight red. And Leinster will have a one-man advantage for the second half of extra time. Can they make something of it here? Leinster go charging on. It's advantage, says the referee. It's all happening here in the Champions Cup final. Alatoa. No advantage, says the referee. Leinster will have a penalty. What drama here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Leinster no doubt will want to put it into the corner. Will we see a contest from Toulouse here? There's still a second half to play for. But it's all happening. When you thought it swung in favour of Toulouse, here come Leinster right back at it. Toulouse down with a red card. Leinster have got their yellow card back. It's all happening here. What do Leinster have up their sleeve now? Caelan Doris. As Van der Veer looks to break away. Osborne. Is there an opportunity out wide? James Lowe. McCarthy. They're only 2 meters out now, Leinster. Right up against this left-hand touchline. Pick and go from Caelan Doris. What an afternoon it's been here of finals rugby. Can they get over the line? Van der Veer. What does the referee say? He's gone up to the TMO. Would you believe it? Josh Van der Veer feels he's over the line. It's a TMO review here. Is there a clear grounding? Can we see that ball dotted down from Van der Veer? It looks like it's held up. We're well over time here in extra time of this first half. It's up to the TMO to decide now. Small margins in it. Is there a clear grounding? Or is it held up? What does the TMO say? Good gracious me. I can't bear to look. Incredible scenes here. What does the referee say? This is the crucial call. A try here just before the end of the first half of extra time will have a massive impact on this game. The TMO taking his time, the referee waiting for feedback. This is it, folks. It's all up to the TMO. Try time. Leinster have scored. They're right back in it with the conversion to come. Crucial conversion now. $20 points, plays 25. The conversion is good. Make that 22. We will be back for the second half of extra time. In just a moment, folks. Don't go anywhere. This is Champions Cup final rugby. Leinster right back in it. Toulouse with a red card to Richie Arnold. It's that final 10 minutes that will be absolutely crucial. We're underway in the second half. Right about now here, Leinster kicking off from left to right. It's Toulouse who hold on to a slender lead by 25 points to 22. Dupont at the base just outside his 22. Can Toulouse hold on a man down? Big hit from LeBel there on Hugo Keenan. And it's going to be a line out to Toulouse here. 9 minutes to play, folks. And it's advantage to Toulouse here, who lead by those 3 points. Can they hold on? Toulouse with the line-out feed, of course, without Richie Arnold. But what an incredible game. One try apiece amongst penalties. Toulouse have the penalty here. It was a ruck. Is this the opportunity now? Caelan Joris, the man pinned by the referee, saying the ruck was formed. Big hit on Chocobares. Went beyond the ball, says the referee. Elo Latoa looked to clear the ball out. But it's a penalty now in favour of Toulouse. Should he get this, Thomas Ramos? It will force Leinster to score a converted try to win it. What drama here in the Champions Cup final. What a pleasure to have all you listeners or viewers tuned in on this one. Dennis Leonard said Leinster should have had this game wrapped up way before this. It's been that afternoon, brother. Final rugby. Back and forth, to and fro. Thomas Ramos has the opportunity to add the extra 3. It's over. Would you believe it? He's done it. Sneaking in the left hand upright. Had the distance. The direction. Over. It's Toulouse. Up by 28 points to 22. Andile Mkotwa says, wow, 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 wow. What else can we say, brother? What else can we say? What a clearance from the restart from Antoine Dupont. 6 minutes to play. Crucial time for Leinster here. Toulouse, of course, playing with a man down, in case you missed it. Extra time has really delivered here in this Champions Cup final. As Leinster look to break away. Up to halfway, it's Toulouse all over the ball. It's a penalty to Toulouse. Leinster fighting against it here. Cian Healy, the man trapped, isolated there. And all over that ball with Toulouse. Do they want it just a little bit more? 15 penalties conceded apiece. It's been that sort of afternoon in the Champions Cup final. 5 minutes to play. And an opportunity now for Thomas Ramos to put it more than a converted score ahead. Time off for the moment. Some attention just being attended to from one of the Toulouse players. But it will be Thomas Ramos who steps up to attempt the three-pointer here. Can they close this game out? At the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, Toulouse up by 28-22 with the penalty kick to come. It will be Ramos who's opted for the posts. Crucial kick now that'll take it more than a converted score ahead. Crazy stuff here in the Champions Cup final, where dreams are made, where legends etch their name in history, the likes of Dupont and Ramos, no doubt, who's come off and made a major impact in the second half. Ramos, straight down the middle, it's sailing, it's over! 31 plays 22 in favour of the French team. Toulouse ahead over the Irish. Leinster, no doubt they'll have to restart quickly, which they do. Now it's about game management. Dupont goes high with a contestable kick. Who wants it? Leinster will have possession here. 4 minutes to play. No doubt they'll want to get on with it quickly. But Toulouse have about one hand, 1 foot, the other hand on the trophy. They just need the other foot to take it home. The Investec player of the match, as per the officials, is Antoine Dupont, and you can understand why. Can Toulouse get over the line here with just over 3 minutes to play? Scrum down to Leinster on their own 10-metre mark. There's a little bit of sideline issues here. The Toulouse management catching the attention of the referee. Leo Cullen on the sidelines as well. It's all happening here in the Champions Cup final. Mo Vaka back on the field. Leinster have it all to do. 3 minutes to play. Drama, drama, drama in the Champions Cup final. Advantage to Leinster. Can they make something of it now? James Lowe. Right up against this right-hand touchline now. Leinster in possession. Gibson Park playing down this left-hand side. Robbie Henshaw. Inside the 22 of Toulouse they go. Knocked on. Toulouse will have the opportunity to clear here. And it's all fading out fast for Leinster at the moment. They decided to play under that advantage. Made it all the way up to the 22. The players are all out on their feet. Two minutes to go here. (31 plays 22 in favour of Toulouse. They feel they've done enough. The red flags of Toulouse waving high here. Scrum down in favour of Toulouse. It will be Dupont who will feed the scrum. Can they manage it here? Two minutes to go in the Champions Cup final. The play of the match to feed for Toulouse. Still in possession now. One and a half minutes to go. Intermac hoofs it into touch. And this, the last real opportunity now. Big pressure there on the Toulouse scrum, but somehow they managed to get the ball into touch via Romain Intermac. Leinster have to pull the trigger now, and then they'll have to get back and try and do it again. Caelan Doris looks to break away, playing with a man down. Toulouse here. Just a game of inches here in the Champions Cup final. We're into the last minute. Ala Alatoa goes charging in from Jamison Gibson Park. They're looking for a drop goal. It's wide. That is it. That will be it. Toulouse should have done just enough here with just seconds to go. Not sure if that was the right decision. He tried one early on, but Toulouse will take the Champions Cup, no doubt. Broken hearts for Jockney, Nova and Leinster. There's seconds to go here. But it will be a victory for the French team. Shattered dreams for Leinster. They'll keep playing right to the very end, but that will be that. Penalty to Leinster, says the referee. Time not up yet, but it's going to be a victory for Toulouse. Leinster have fallen short yet again. Smiles all around, but time not up yet on the clock. Leinster will have one final opportunity. Shout out the head office. Shout out Andy Lim Courtois. Stay tuned in for games to come, brother. I'm right on board. It's lovely to have all the fans tuned in here on Forever Rugby and Forever Sports. What an afternoon for Toulouse, though, if you're a French fan. Of course, last night we saw the Sharks take victory for South Africa in the Challenge Cup. But here come Leinster for one final push. It's Alaalatoa, Gibson Park, Robbie Henshaw. They're only 2 meters out now. Are they looking for a consolation score? It's knocked on. It's all over. That is it. The final whistle is gone. Toulouse, Ole, Les Bleus have won the Champions Cup for 2024. Antoine Dupont, the man of the match, running in to celebrate with his teammates. They've done it. They held on for just long enough. Heartbreak for Leinster and Jacques Nienaber. But that is it. They'll go home empty-handed here at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Toulouse will go home with the trophy. It's been simply sensational from myself, Roots, here at Forever Rugby and Forever Sports. Until next time, bye for now.